Okay, so I just saw a video and it made me want to jump on here so fast because there's a huge correlation between two things. But it was on how psychopathic serial killers choose their victims. And a lot of people would assume that it's just sort of random or maybe it's people they know, but there's actually a method. So, what they do is they come up with some sort of sob story, some story that paints them as this victim, that some horrendous thing happened to them. And then they would gauge their victims based on the reply of the other person. So if a person replied sort of short, sweet, change the subject, doesn't seem too interested, this person is generally not chosen to be a victim. However, if the other person is highly empathic, compassionate, like, oh my gosh, you poor thing, let me love on you. Here, let me give you a hug. I'm going to touch your hand. Like a person who just shows just a high level of compassion for their pain. These were the people who were selected. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this, as unfortunate as that is it's incredibly similar to how a narcissist chooses their victims, although they're not a serial killer looking to chop somebody up into little pieces. It is somebody who is going into a situation looking to manipulate, to gain something, to take from the other individual. And so being a victim of a narcissist is almost just as bad. I mean, it can be very detrimental to every area of your life. But knowing that how they select their victims is very key to avoiding it in your own life. And so it's very similar. They may not go right in with a sob story, although they might, and they might kind of read you. They're looking for how compassionate you are, how gentle and nice, because they view these traits as highly manipulative or highly manipulatable. Sorry, that word. So if you are easy to manipulate and incredibly kind and overly giving and overly compassionate and very much a people pleaser, they are going to figure this out rather quickly. They will ask you specific questions. They will dig into your past. You know, you might mistake this for genuine interest, that someone is just asking, simple questions, wanting to get to know you, but they are very strategic in how they are reading you. They watch your body language, they watch your facial expressions. And so if you are a very kind, giving person who generally sees the best in everybody, you're a prime candidate for falling victim to a narcissist. So when I came across this video, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so incredibly spot on, so incredibly similar to how a narcissistic person chooses their partner. A lot of times they will pick people that will make them look good, pick people that do something for them, whether it be, financial status, social status. They're always looking for what they can take away from another person. It's never, what can I give? It's not, I genuinely love and care for this person. I'm going to look at what I can add to them. It's, what can I take? What can I get? And so they will use your responses against you without you ever even realizing it. They will play on your sympathy. They will recognize like your gentleness and your kindness, and they will try to mirror this back to you, even though it's not a trait that they possess, but they will mirror it back to you, knowing that it's going to break any walls that you do have down. It's going to make you an easy target. It's going to make you so simple to reel in. And so I wanted to come on here and share this with you guys, because here's the thing. If you are a good-hearted person, if you are by nature just a good person, we tend to project that out into the world. And so what also makes us very easy targets is the fact that we assume everyone else is like us and that there's not that many bad people. We usually see the best in someone else. So knowing, when we behave this way, when we think this way, when we feel this way, we often project ourselves onto other people. So we're breezing right past all the red flags, and we're not using caution because we assume, oh, I'm a good person, I'm trustworthy, I don't lie. Most other people are like that, and that's simply not true. I made a video, it was about a year ago, when I had my old channel up and running, and it was like, be very careful about how much you share with people, because this is a very real thing. They can pick up on this on a first date. Just your responses, how much you overshare, how much you over-explain things. You got to remember, this is somebody you don't know or you barely know. Your past, all of these, very intimate details about your life do not need to be shared with somebody that you don't know if you can trust. And so learning to stay short and sweet with answers, learning our boundaries, learning to recognize when another person is sort of intentively listening to you. Don't confuse it with genuine interest. You have to be so careful, because a narcissistic person, they might be, oh, I'm going to listen to you. I'm so engaged. I'm making eye contact. I'm validating you, and you're just blah, 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 like giving them your whole story, what you do for a living, how much money you make. You might as well bring your tax returns to the date. And this is setting you up to be an easy target, because you are literally giving them all the ammunition they need to manipulate you, to get something out of you, they are just gauging how easy is this person as they're sitting across the table from you. So you have to be, the Bible, it tells us to be wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. But wise as a serpent, you have to understand how these people think. You have to understand that there is motive. It's not pure intentions. And so knowing your enemy, isn't there a book that's called that? The Art of War or something. And it's about knowing how your enemy thinks, knowing how your opponent thinks, And so we have to understand these things in order to be well equipped to go into the world. And we have to be so cautious with what comes out of our mouth, because those same tidbits of information can turn around and bite us later. It can really land us in some really tricky situations. So I had to come on here and share you guys, because the similarity was just incredible. And I feel nowadays, especially, there are so many people who just don't understand. They want to give people the benefit of the doubt. They want to believe that people are good. And there are a lot of good people. There's a lot of really good people, but there's also a lot of really damaged, unhealed, narcissistic, psychopathic, sociopathic individuals who are looking to prey on your kindness and your gentleness, because it is viewed to them as a weakness. So it is so incredibly important to understand this, to use caution when going out into the world, no matter how nice somebody seems or well-meaning. This can apply to friendships too, or, coworkers. It doesn't matter who it is. It's not just dating. But we have to use discernment, and discernment is key. So in order to be able to discern, you not only have to trust your intuition, but understanding what you're up against so that you don't fall into a trap.